I thought retirement would be peaceful. Tea by the window, morning birds, silence, but silence became my enemy. It started one cold November night, a creak above my ceiling, soft footsteps where no one should walk. I told Stephen, my husband of 40 years, but he only smiled. Probably the rats, love, he said. But rats don't whisper your name at 3 a.m. After weeks of unease, I called someone who might actually listen. The council sent Inspector Harlow, an older man, sharp eyes, and a voice that carried quiet authority. He searched the attic and came down frowning. No rats, Mrs. Whitmore. But someone's been up there. Recently, Stephen laughed when I told him. Oh, Harlow's just making a drama, he said. But that night, the noises turned into dragging sounds, like furniture scraping wood. And once, I heard a soft sob. The next morning, I hired Clara, a cleaning lady. She was young, kind, always humming under her breath. I left her to clean while I went to the store. 2 hours later, my phone rang. Her voice shook. Mrs. Whitmore, I think there's someone in your house. I froze. What do you mean? In the attic. I heard breathing, and someone whispered your name. I told her to leave immediately and called Inspector Harlow again. By the time he arrived, Clara was outside, pale and shaking. She swore she'd seen a hand pulling back into the dark above. Harlow climbed up, flashlight in hand. Stephen wasn't home. He'd gone to pick up groceries. A few minutes passed before Harlow called out, Mrs. Whitmore, you should see this. The smell hit me first. Stale air, sweat, something rotten. Then I saw it. A small mattress, empty food tins, and a typewriter. My heart froze when I saw the letters carved into the wood beside it. M.W., my sister's initials. Marlena Whitmore, the sister who vanished 30 years ago. The attic felt like another world. Cold still. Every breath echoed against the wooden beams. Inspector Harlow's flashlight moved slowly, revealing dust that looked like snow caught midair. How long since anyone's been up here? He asked quietly. Not since we moved in. 40 years ago, I whispered. He stopped, crouching near the mattress. Someone's been here recently. These tins. He pointed at a few old soup cans. Expiries just last year. My throat tightened. But Stephen said, Mrs. Whitmore, he interrupted softly. You might want to tell me about these initials. M.W. They glowed faintly under his flashlight. I touched them. My fingers trembled. My sister Marlena. She disappeared when I was 30. Everyone said she ran away. Harlow studied me carefully. Did your husband know her? They met once, before we married. For a moment, there was silence. Then, a faint creak above us. Harlow turned sharply. There's space beyond that beam, he said, climbing higher. The wood groaned under his weight. Something shifted in the shadows. A soft shuffle. I held my breath. Is someone there? Harlow called out. No answer. Only a dragging sound, and then nothing. We descended quietly. He promised to return with a warrant to check the property more thoroughly. As he left, I noticed something strange. One of the soup cans was missing. I didn't say a word. That night, Stephen returned late. His hands were trembling as he placed the grocery bags on the counter. You look pale, love, I said. Long queues, he muttered. You shouldn't have called that inspector again. Makes us look ridiculous. He went upstairs early. I stayed awake in the living room, listening. Around midnight, the floorboards above me creaked again. Then, faintly, a whisper. Margaret, my name. I froze. The voice was soft, hoarse, like it hadn't been used in years. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't move. The next morning, I told Harlow what I'd heard. He returned immediately, bringing a young officer with him. When they searched the attic again, something new had appeared. A page, just one, torn from an old notebook, typed neatly on yellowed paper. The ink faded but readable. You live below my cage. You drink your tea, and I listen. One day you'll hear me fully. Harlow looked at me. Whoever's up there knows you. My knees gave way. It can't be her, I whispered. Marlena's gone. He didn't answer, only stared at the beam above us. And that's when I noticed a thin thread of hair, silver and long, hanging from the attic door. The house didn't feel like mine anymore. Every corner seemed to breathe. Every shadow carried a memory I didn't remember creating. Inspector Harlow came the next morning with quiet determination. He carried files, a recorder, and a strange calm, the kind that comes before something terrible. Mrs. Whitmore, I looked into your sister's case, he said. There was never an official closure, just a disappearance. Your husband filed the report himself. My heart skipped. Stephen, yes. And there's something else. The handwriting on her last letter matches the manuscripts your husband published. I felt my stomach twist. Harlow placed a photo on the table. A younger Stephen, at a book signing. Behind him, barely visible in the reflection of a shop window. A woman with silver hair, watching. That photo's from 15 years ago, Harlow said, and the witness insists the woman looked terrified. Before I could answer, the front door opened. Stephen walked in. His smile froze when he saw the inspector. Again, I told you there's nothing up there. Then you won't mind if we check once more, Harlow said evenly. Stephen's jaw tightened. Be my guest. They climbed the attic ladder. I stayed below, heart pounding. Above, the sound of boots against old wood, boxes shifting, fabric tearing. Then, silence. Minutes later, Harlow called out, Mrs. Whitmore, could you come up here, please? I climbed slowly, knees trembling. He was standing near a cracked section of wall. He pressed it gently. A panel moved aside. Behind it, a small hidden space. Inside, a chair, a blanket, and a diary. Harlow handed it to me. The first page read, Day 4382. He says she still doesn't know. My breath caught. The handwriting, identical to mine, yet trembling, weaker. It's her, I whispered. It's Marlena. Stephen's voice came sharp from behind us. Enough of this madness. He grabbed the diary, but Harlow stepped between us. Mr. Whitmore, we'll need to take this as evidence. Evidence of what? My wife's delusions. Stephen barked. For a moment, his mask cracked. The calm author, the loving husband, gone. His eyes were cold, almost frightened. Then, from above, a faint metallic click. We all froze. The sound came from the vent, the same one leading deeper into the attic walls. Did you hear that? I whispered. Yes, Harlow said. Someone's still here. He turned off his flashlight. In the dark, we heard slow, uneven breathing, then a whisper softer than dust, but filled with decades of sorrow. Don't let him close the door again. Harlow raised his light. For a split second, something moved in the corner, a pale hand, retreating into the darkness. Stephen shouted, Stay away from there. But his voice broke, cracked open by fear. I looked at him, truly looked, and saw guilt written in every line of his face. What did you do to her, Stephen? I asked. He didn't answer, only stared into the dark space, trembling. And then, from within the wall, came one final sound. Not a whisper this time, but the soft, unmistakable clatter of a typewriter key hitting paper. The silence after the typewriter's click was unbearable. Inspector Harlow raised his torch again, his face pale in the beam. Mrs. Whitmore, stay here. But I couldn't. I needed to see. We pushed deeper into the crawl space, the air thick and damp. Each step forward revealed pieces of a life that shouldn't exist. Torn pages, broken pens, photographs of Marlena, all hidden behind wooden walls. At the end of the narrow corridor, a faint light flickered, a small lantern, half burned out, and beside it, a woman, frail, her hair long and silver, her wrists marked with years of bindings. Marlena, I whispered. She turned her head slowly. Her eyes dim but alive met mine. You finally heard me, she said, her voice shaking like wind through leaves. I dropped to my knees. How long? How did you? He said it was for my own good, she murmured. That I wasn't ready for the world. He said, you'd moved on. Behind us, footsteps thundered. Stephen's voice filled the attic. Don't touch her. You don't know what she did. Harlow stepped between us. What did you do, Mr. Whitmore? Stephen's hands shook, his words spilling like poison. She stole everything from me. Her stories, her talent. I made them better. I made them worth reading. She should have thanked me. Marlena flinched. I felt my blood turn cold. You locked her away because she was better than you, I said quietly. He laughed, a broken sound. You think you'd have loved her if you knew the truth. She wanted my success. She wanted you to hate me. Harlow raised his radio. That's enough. You're under arrest. Stephen tried to run, but the attic ladder gave way beneath him. He fell hard, groaning, the echo of his fall filling the silent house. Paramedics came. The police took him away. Marlena sat near the lantern, hands trembling, whispering to herself in fragments of stories. Harlow placed a hand on my shoulder. She's safe now. You both are. Days passed. Marlena was taken to a hospital, where she began to speak again in short, haunting sentences that read like poems. Her words were fragile, but her mind was still brilliant. Every night, she asked for paper and an old typewriter. One evening, the nurse handed me an envelope. She finished this, she said softly. Inside was a single page, neatly typed. He tried to steal my voice, but my sister carried its echo. Freedom is not light. It's the sound of keys striking paper again. I cried for hours. Months later, Stephen's books were withdrawn from shelves. Every stolen word was traced back to her. The world learned her name, Marlena Whitmore, the woman who wrote from a cage above her sister's ceiling. Now, every morning, I make tea for two. I look up at the quiet attic, and for the first time in 40 years, the silence finally feels like peace.